So good to see you again. My dad's doing so much better. I'm Katrina Smith, his daughter. I'll be filling in for him again this week. He enjoyed my devotional last week called Seasoned with Salt. An important reminder to never lose your saltiness, to make other people thirsty for what you have with your relationship with the Lord. Not being easily offended. When we first moved away from home, our first time living away on our own, we moved to Ohio and we started going to this little church, and I saw this poster hanging on the wall. Have you ever seen a poster and it just grabbed your attention? Well, the verse underneath it really grabbed my attention. I had never really seen this verse in this way before. If you look in Colossians 3:13, it says, "Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have with one another. Forgive as the Lord has forgiven you." But this verse had a little bit of different wording, and it just popped and it stood out to me. Do not be easily offended. I was like, wow, that is a great way to see this verse. Don't be easily offended. This has helped me so much in life, especially being away from home and feeling vulnerable and not having a support system nearby. It really gave me the confidence that I needed to be successful. Easily offended. When I would walk down the hall at work, I didn't have to worry if people were gossiping about me. Oh, I wonder what those people are talking about over there. I hope they're not talking about what I'm wearing or something that I did, or I hope I don't have something on my face. I didn't worry anymore because I wasn't offended by what other people thought of me. I had a really good quote, and it says, "What other people think about you is none of your business." Whoa, that blew my mind when I heard it the first time. What other people think of you is none of your business. Don't be offended by what other people say and do. In light of eternity, the things of this earth really do not matter. If you look at the beginning of chapter 3 in Colossians, it talks about set your mind on things above. Set your mind on things above. In light of eternity, a lot of things here on earth really don't matter. Every day I come down to get water, and it's so frustrating because it's on the ice setting. And I'm from Germany, y'all. We drink everything at room temperature, okay? And so for me, ice isn't something that I usually put in my drink. Not only does the ice come out, it comes flying out and it goes all over the kitchen. And then I have to spend some time cleaning up, and it's so frustrating to me. We all have pet peeves, don't we? We all have things that upset us and frustrate us. I want to encourage you to not be easily offended. If you look in verse 12 of Colossians 3, remember Paul's in jail. He's writing to the church and reminding them to not be offended, to be positive, to clothe yourself with gentleness, kindness, and patience. I love the way he says, clothe yourself with these attributes. In Galatians 5, we can find the same fruits of the Spirit listed there. It's a good reminder. Only a fool is easily angered, quick to anger. The wise man restrains himself and is slow to anger, just like Jesus and God. They're slow to anger. And I really love how Paul says, clothe yourself with gentleness. So if you get yourself like a little index card, write down something you want to focus on for the week and remind yourself to practice one thing. Maybe it's gentleness. Maybe it's the way you speak to your spouse, to your child, to your friend. Maybe it's the way you respond to your child when they are not so easily disciplined, when they are rowdy, or when they are breaking things or destroying the house. we just respond to them in kindness, we're gonna get a lot further. My daughter loves to play games, so instead of getting angry or frustrated, I have to turn everything into a game. This never worked with my son, so it's not a magic trick. But with my daughter, it's the cutest thing. If I just turn something into the game, she will play along. If I say, hey Emma, the floor is turning into lava and we have to pick everything up off the floor, she cleans it immediately. Gotta find those little tricks that work. Francis Chan wrote a book a few years ago called Crazy Love, and he had a 3-day challenge. I wanna challenge you to do this. My husband said that those were the best 3 days of his life. Do you wanna hear what it is? Are you ready? Are you sure? Okay then. In the book, Francis Chan says, try to go 3 days without grumbling or complaining about everything, without anything. Don't complain about anything for 3 days. So that ice that comes out when I don't want it to, don't complain about it. When people leave their stuff all over the house, don't complain about it. Either just clean it up or encourage your family members to pick up as they go about their day. One thing that I have done that is super successful, we sometimes have what we call a family meeting, and that's a time for us to lift each other up and say some things that we appreciate about our family members, and then also something that might get under our skin or frustrate us. Just changing your conversation to, hey, do you mind putting the setting on water instead of leaving it on ice? I would really appreciate that. Just saying it in a kind and a positive way makes all the difference, seasoned with salt. When I was doing the 3-day challenge, it was super hard for me because, of course, I'm like a detective when it comes to looking for problems. I can find all of the problems and all of your mistakes. So I had to really restrain myself, but it was good because it shifted my mindset to like, why am I focusing on all the negative? Why am I so uptight? Or why do I get so frustrated about the dishes and the clothing and everything? My expectations are super high, which there's nothing wrong with that. I don't want to live in filth. Reflecting on the way I act is super helpful because if I want my kids to have the fruit of the Spirit, then I need to practice it. I need to be gentle. I need to be patient. I need to take a break. I need to take things easy. It's okay if, let's say, putting the dishes away gets delayed. It won't be the end of the world, but it will be the end of the world for my relationship with my kids if I break that bond with them. If I'm always getting after them and I'm always criticizing them, that's gonna break their spirit. That's gonna hurt their little hearts. And I don't want that. I want them to be super successful and responsible human beings. And we'll get there in time. And you know, everyone's gonna make mistakes, and that's okay. But doing this challenge of not complaining for 3 days was so good for my marriage and for my relationship with my kids. I think everybody should try it. If you do try it, let me know how it goes. I would be really curious to find out if it benefited you. Let's review what we've talked about here today. We talked about clothing ourselves with the fruits of the Spirit. We've talked about don't be offended by other people. And finally, we talked about doing this challenge. The challenge where we don't complain about anything. Maybe wait until we're calm and have that family meeting I talked about. And in kindness, simply let people know what you need and what you would appreciate. It's gonna lead to a happier, healthy life. And it's gonna bring restoration and healing into your marriages and into your body. Because what happens? What happens when we hold on to that anger? I don't want anyone to think, oh, I have to be a pressure cooker now. I can't ever say anything that I'm frustrated about. That's not what this is. This is delaying gratification. This is showing some grit, some self-control. This is simply saying, I'm gonna delay what I wanna say and say it when I'm calm And I'm going to say it in a safe place where everybody feels safe and where everybody has a chance to have a voice and talk about something that they would like to see improvement on. If something's not working for me and my family, we have to change it. We have to address it, but in time. Maybe when you're angry and all the ice is shooting down at you, might not be the best time to have that conversation. Maybe wait until we're calm and then have that conversation. I've really enjoyed my time here in the book of Colossians. There's some great stuff here. Getting these roots of bitterness and anger out of my life is helping my health. It's helping me to feel better. When we hold on to anger and become that pressure cooker I was talking about, we plant deep seeds of anger and bitterness. And this isn't healthy for us. This is what's causing so much stress and so many could be causing so many health issues. But when we start to examine our heart and circumcise it, cutting off all the things that are holding us back, that are hurting us, we become better humans. We become healthier humans. And I'm so excited that I'm on this journey of wellness and health, because I did for many years allow anger and bitterness to take root in my heart, and I never want to go back to that place again. And I know that God told me that I needed to cut those things out of my life, and until I forgave, because remember, we forgive because He first forgave us. God gives us the ability to forgive. It's not easy, and sometimes we feel justified in our anger, but it's not healthy for us. If we don't see it as a sin issue, we can see it as a health issue, because it can destroy God's holy temple. This is the temple He's given us, and we have to take care of it. We want to do things that are good and edifying, good for our soul and kingdom building. And when we put on the fruits of the Spirit and allow those things to grow, and we cut out all the bad, and we pull those deep roots of bitterness and unforgiveness out, it's like a weight's been lifted off your shoulders, and you can breathe more freely. Well, I hope you start a new life in freedom by cutting out all of the negativity, by forgiving, by not complaining, by not being easily offended, and by putting on the fruit of the Spirit. I hope you enjoyed this message. Have a great week, and let me know how it goes if you do the challenge.